Hey guys, happy Thursday and welcome back. I know I said this in my previous pre-record, but obviously my setup is a little bit different. If you guys haven't been around, I don't know where you've been, but I am in Salt Lake City doing big things and I cannot wait to share with you hopefully this Sunday. I've been getting a lot of questions and even Jason said, you shouldn't have shared it until it happened. And I was like, no, I understand. But he's like, you're teasing it. Now you're making people annoyed because they want to know. And I get that. But who doesn't like a good little tease? I mean, you guys will get the information soon. It's by the end of the week. We're already at Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. It's okay. However, we're not back to talk about what I'm doing in Salt Lake right now. We're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 16, episode 6, a full recap, because what an episode. Now, before we jump in and recap this episode, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so we kick off this episode with a lot of just chaos. Obviously, Noella Bergener has been talking about Heather Dubrow behind her back, calling her a fake bitch, a phony bitch, whatever, and saying that she's not trustworthy. So I kind of like the fact that Heather Dubrow was like, wait a minute, if you're going to say these things about me, it makes me almost more phony if now I know about this information and I'm not going to call you out about it. So that's exactly what she did. She decided to do this after going to Asana and getting her nails done with Dr. Jen Armstrong and also Emily Simpson. By the way, if you guys missed this episode, we saw it in the trailer. I love that Emily Simpson went into the sauna and ate a turkey sandwich. I was like, wait a minute, this is hilarious. And she just had a turkey sandwich sitting in her bag. Heather's like, who does this? But Emily Simpson, and I'm growing to love her so much. She's growing on me. I also will never get in a sauna again because the last time I did, it made my temperature rise so high that I ended up spending the night in the hospital. So no saunas for Adam. However, they all came to the conclusion, yes, you should probably call out Noella. And that's exactly what she did. She invited Noella over to her house. And when she did, she was filming this like infomercial. And Noella did kind of have a point. She's like, you told me what time to be here. You told me to make sure that I was here. And then I came here and it's like, you wanted me to see you working. Like it's almost like a who's is bigger kind of contest. Okay. And then Heather said, just follow me into my lair. Obviously, in Heather's lair, she has everything from an H-shaped chandelier to her photos all over the place. And Noella kind of made a point. She's like, it looks like a narcissist den. I don't know if Heather Dubrow is a narcissist per se, but when they're talking in the conversation, she called out Noella. And Noella said, listen, the first time I met you, you and your husband were shoving people up against walls. She's like, what? Are you fucking psycho? What are you talking about, shoving people against walls? She's like, babe, I know what I heard. And Heather's like, okay, at this point, I was trying to be your friend, but I think that you have a lot going on in your life. You need to focus on you and your family. And I just don't think I'm the right friend for you. All right. That makes sense. And listen, that's easy to just kind of chalk it up and be like, let's move on. Now, Heather is between a rock and a hard place because Noella was really nice to her daughter, Max, and Max is celebrating her book launch this episode, where she is talking about her sexuality and mental health. And honestly, a 17-year-old doing this, I think it's incredible. And the fact that she's able to articulate herself the way that she is and try to take something that she really struggled with and turn it into a positive. I really have to praise Max for that. And it just goes to show that Heather and Terry raised an amazing daughter. But she invited Noella to this book launch because she was so nice. And now she's like, I don't know. How do I let her come or do I not let her come? I don't know what to do at this point. And she ends up coming to the book party, but we'll get to that. Before we do, Dr. Jen Armstrong, we've talked about her. She's our newbie this season, at least one of them, one of three. And she's had a lot of legal action around her, I guess, per se. It's been a shit show. She's being sued by patients. She's suing former employees. And now we're talking about her former billionaire ex who sued her for over $865,000, I believe. And that was because he gifted her stuff throughout their relationship, but he went to the courts 3 days after he found out she got married to Ryan, which I still don't understand the name. He changed his name from Ryan to Ryan. I don't even, is it Ryan? I'm with the women on this. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Ryan. Ryan. Okay. So 3 days after she married Ryan, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. 3 days after she married Ryan, she ended up getting served with these papers from her ex saying, you owe me back almost $1 million. She ended up paying the money back, but Emily was like, that's strange. That doesn't add up. This is very, what? He gifted you stuff and then he said it's a loan. And she's really pressing in on this topic. I can't figure out why as of yet, but we'll get back to that. Let's pan back over to Noella. Noella obviously is navigating this divorce, and she was served divorce papers that were in Spanish because they came from Puerto Rico. And when she did, she was trying to track down her soon-to-be ex-husband, James Bergener, okay? When she's trying to track him down, she can't figure out where could this man be. I love that she invites Gina over to her house, and she's like, what continent do you think that he's on? And she goes, I don't know, South Africa. She's like, girl, I had access to one of his credit cards and I saw some charges. He's in Mykonos. And Gina goes, where the hell is Mykonos? I'm like, Gina, what rock have you been living under? You don't know where Mykonos is? Apparently not, but it's in Greece. Okay, Gina. And I don't know what James is doing in Greece. None of us do, but it looks like he tried to get as far away from Noella as possible. And she's not letting this one go. And then she celebrated the fact that she found him by sharing with everybody that she had some personal time in the shower that morning. I don't know. I think I honestly could have done without that extra information. I really could have, but okay. Now, Nicole, this is something that I'm not understanding. Nicole James looks kind of like a Pam Anderson mock-up. I don't know. They compared her to Pam Anderson, and I can kind of see the resemblance maybe from back in the day, but she started off with a sort of strong friendship with Noella. It seemed like they were going to be besties this season. And we've heard that Nicole was not going to be on a lot of the episodes. However, we're getting her all over the place. This is episode 6, and Nicole has still not gone anywhere. Noella ends up calling her, and we get a little scene. It's probably about 20 seconds, but Noella ends up calling Nicole and saying, listen, normally my friends would be there for me. I'm going through one of the hardest times in my life right now, and I would expect more from you. You haven't been there. And she said, Noella, I can't do this. I can't be friends with you. I don't think I'm the right fit for a friend for you. This is too much for me, and hangs up on Noella. I mean, between hanging up on her face and then also having her walk out of the restaurant because she's crying after finding out that she's getting served divorce papers, I don't know if Noella wants to be friends with Nicole anyways. I don't think Nicole would be the best friend. I don't know. Now, we did get a little glimpse of Shannon this episode, and she ended up going to Nashville with her daughters to visit her mom. She's having a hard conversation with her daughters and her mom about how her divorce impacted her. And she's sharing that, you know, her parents were a part of this vicious cycle of divorce, and it took a toll on her. And then she had the same vicious cycle after her and David Beador ended up splitting, and that took a toll on her and her children. And she wants her daughters to break the cycle. Well, her oldest daughter, who is going to school in Texas, has a new boyfriend. She's been with him for 2 months. She claims 4, but they've been official for 2. And she says, that's who I want to marry. I love him. Shannon, it looks like you have a lot on your plate. Now, pan over to Max's book launch party, which looks amazing. It looks like they dropped about $20,000, $30,000 on this party. It's incredible. There's shrimp cocktails, open bars, chakra readings, and Emily found out that she had a red zone in that area. I don't know. Shane still looks like he doesn't want to be there. That's not a shocker. And Dr. Jen Armstrong's husband is wearing a shirt, so maybe that is a shocker. I don't know. But the women are getting wasty pants. Noella does end up showing up. Nicole walks right past her, completely ignores her. Noella says hi briefly to Heather, but Heather just says, we're good. Thank you. You brought a present for my daughter. I appreciate it. But from here, I'm going to just go work the room and hang out with some other people. While Heather's working the room, Emily and Gina are taking shots and drinks after drink after drink, and so is Noella, but Emily gets a little messy. I didn't realize how messy Emily can get. She ends up getting in Dr. Jen's face, and she's like, you married a billionaire, or you didn't. How did you pay for your school? Just admit it, you like the money. Gina, she likes the money. But I'm like, somebody please get this woman a glass of water and get her out of here, please. I don't know. This episode was kind of kooky. It was interesting. We hear that Heather Dubrow has, land. I think she said Idaho or something like that. It's not really relevant. She wanted to build, but she's not. Now she's wanting to build in Cabo. So we know going into next week's episode that we will be in Cabo San Lucas, and it is the first girls trip of the season, which I'm totally excited for. Heather also teased that there are a lot of girls trips to come this season, and the season ended in a way that she's never seen a season of any of the franchises in before. Okay. Give us a little bit of hints, drop some actually, that is kind of annoying because I'm like, what is she talking about? And I'm doing the same thing to you guys by being in Salt Lake and not telling you why I'm here. So yeah, maybe it is annoying. I don't know. Guys, what did you think about last night's episode? Go ahead and comment below. And before you go, if you haven't already, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.